I promised that I would break in and, not do Brian White today, although I might still sneak Brian White in anyway. We'll see what happens in terms of the numbers on this video. But, the 265 number has been breached, although we're below it at this exact moment. I suppose it is possible that the regular investing class on Wall Street can add after all, because all you have to do is add it up. Let's see, we have the current success with S3XY. Pretty substantial, pretty cool success. Even if we only get to 10 million vehicles in 2030, that's 300 billion in business. That would be, a pretty nice company. Outsized crazy success of the Cybertruck. I'll even include this in the above that 300 billion, so we can just add that in there. Then there'll be the new information showing massive profits from Megapacks and Powerwalls. That'll be at least 200 billion in 2030, and you can easily, put that on a spreadsheet. Massive spending on GPUs and production of Jojo, and we don't really know what that's going to mean, but Elon did say it could be as much as $400 billion. And since this is a SaaS type of thing, maybe we're talking about 400 billion in profit, or a lot of that 400 billion being profit. Anyway, then there's groundbreaking on the semi factory. If we just get to 500,000 trucks per year, and I'm thinking it'll be 1 million, but even at 500,000 trucks per year, you're looking at 100 billion in business, not counting the charging post. Are you adding all this up? I'm not. I'm just telling you. Huge option on the Juniper part, but that would be the Juniper, coming out, in the first quarter, probably maybe the first half of next year. But that's just part of the 300 billion in 2030. Anyway, already baked in are the expectations from the $25,000 car, I suppose, because that's what all the Wall Street guys talk about. But that's also part of the first number, that 300 billion. That's not extra. And then there's the potential from FSD. Oh, that is extra. That would be, let's say, for instance, if 50 million cars are spending $100 a month, or if it's 25 million cars spending $200 a month, or yeah, you get the point. That's 5 billion pure profit. And then there's more than that for the semi, because they're going to be charging way more than $100 a month. Let's call it 1,000 a month, then there'll be millions. You can, do the math. Potential, of course, for the Cybertrucks. Let's lowball that at only 1 trillion. We've heard some of the estimates by Kathy and Elon on what the cybercab business might look like in terms of dollars, but let's just go with 1 trillion. And then, okay, potential from Optimus, let's lowball that at 5 trillion. That's all. Okay, just that. Wait, okay. And then there's the fact you got Elon Musk running it. Yeah, somebody who's like always executing. Maybe a little late, but always executing. Well, so even if you're a conservative Wall Street type, if you believe that there is a substantial chance, let's call it a 75, 80%, 90% chance of executing on the above list, or maybe you think it's 100% on this and 80% on that and 90% on the other, and then you think that some of that might be this year, some of that might be next year, some of that might be 2026, some of it might be 2027, but if you think it's all going to be executed eventually, and then you got a guy that's heading up the company who's executed 100% of the time, even if he's sometimes late, then maybe you would want to be a little overweight on the next NVIDIA times 10. Well, what do I know? We don't know, but let's go ahead and see where Tesla is right now. Just take a quick look to see if it's broken through again. No, it's now sitting at 263 and 47 cents at 1150. It looks like it might make another effort to go through 265, but it made it through 265. The high for the day is 265.61 as of this moment. And maybe it's going to jump back through 265 and end above 265 for the day. And as I mentioned earlier, I believe that if we close above 265, we're probably, choppy, but we'll probably get to 300 before the earnings. Now, there's also the other side of it, but I honestly believe this. If we finish below 265, especially if we finish decidedly below 265, or if we get a bad news thing, like a bad CPI print tomorrow, or something comes out on Tesla that's really important, we could go back and test 220, 225 again. That's entirely possible. Could happen before earnings. Right now, I'm thinking, nah, I think we're going to stay in a trading range 250 to 300 between now and earnings. And then after earnings, we'll see how earnings goes. But it's only a few days after earnings that we're at 8.8. And of course, if some of the things we're hoping for happen at earnings and at 8.8, we could be back to all-time highs in no time. And you know, my bull case is 700 by the end of the year, but I never get it right. Oh, yeah, I just got it right. Oh, it doesn't mean I'll get it right next time. All right, listen, if you haven't yet done Patreon, I am starting to put up some new content on Patreon. I'm putting up the content on Patreon before I show it to the rest of the world. I know you guys should get it first, but you know, what can I do? You got to make a living. So I am starting to put up, well, okay, substantial content the last few days on Patreon. I've also got a tip thing going on X if you're on X. And if you want to help out that way, that'd be another way you can do it. You can always, of course, do the tip thing here on YouTube. I forget how that works, but there's a way for you to put like super money in right now. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, and then I'm probably going to go ahead and finally do some kind of a subscription thing on X as well. So, you know, one way or the other, I got to get the numbers up. I got to get it to $50 an hour. Is that unfair? Is that unreasonable? That's the goal. By the end of the year, we need a run rate of $50 an hour, and then I'll shut up. I really will. I won't ever ask. I will never say anything. I'll be perfectly happy at $50 an hour. What do you say? Let me know in the comments below if that's fair. All right, that's all I got for you right now. We might still, I probably, you know, put a Brian White interview in later today, and then we'll still have Nicholas Gibbs tonight. That'd be a lot for one day, huh? All right. Well, that's how we get to $50 an hour. It's been great talking to you.